So our social experiment focuses on the cognitive viewpoint. This means that our experiences and behavior are determined by our expectations and emotions.
So, our project focused on people who believed that they were either a super taster or a non taster. The people who believed that they were super tasters were more likely to label them and have a more in depth reason for why they labeled them the way that they did, versus the non tasters who believed that they all tasted the same or couldn't notice a difference but still decided to label them.
And I'm 19. Okay.
Did you give yourself a 4? Yeah. Come on. What would you rate this?
D6. That one's got more zing than that one, so.
That's wise. I'm a small
That one's contaminated.
guy. Why?
Yep, you're right. One of them's got poison in it. Yeah, before I set them down.
Okay, this one's the real one because that's the real deal. I've drank Sprite all my life. That's the real deal. And these two are different. This one's flatter than that one, and this one's garbage. It's like more salty. Is there one with salt? Yeah, there's probably no sugar then, right?
Yeah, they use salt.
Yeah, and then that one's no calorie because it's, yeah, I don't know.
No calorie, regular. Sorry, I thought I said it was Sprite.
That tastes like normal Sprite. It doesn't smell as sweet. That also tastes like normal Sprite.
Confident with that? Sure?
Yep.
Alright, why?
This one tasted the most like normal Sprite. That one tasted like shit. And that one tasted like normal Sprite, so I had to go somewhere. Yep.
Alright.
Along with our experiment, we had them fill out a survey. This survey was used to compare men and women to see who believed their taste buds were better. For some unknown reason, women are more likely to be super tasters than men. Our data concluded that women were more likely to rate their taste buds between a 6 through a 10, and men were between a 1 and a 5. It was interesting to see because the men that rated themselves lower were more likely to notice that the Sprite was all the same, and the women who rated themselves higher were more likely to fall under the susceptibility that they were different.
We learned in this experiment that people may be too quick to trust everything they hear. This can be similarly compared to gossip, for example, where one person says something, somebody hears about it, and they just run with it without giving it a second thought. Just like in the Sprite experiment, you know, people didn't really think we were gonna be tricking them like that, so they just ran with it. This can be applied in a lot of other areas as well, such as like politics, where everybody's arguing about something, everybody's got their own opinion, people are slandering other people, and we just run with it, and so does the media. So this experiment is actually applicable in a lot of different areas in our world. Another interesting experiment that relates to ours is one that was conducted by some professors at Cambridge, where they experimented with cheap versus expensive wine, where they told their consumers that they have an expensive bottle of wine in front of them, and then they just let them know what they think tastes better, when in reality they gave them a cheap bottle of wine, but every consumer's experience was better with the cheap wine, thinking it was expensive. So basically, it's all on what you hear that supports your experience, I guess. So their experiment supported the notion that price not only serves to clear markets, it also influences expectations that in turn shape a consumer's experience, just like in this Sprite experiment. This experiment has made me question a lot of decisions, and I think should make us all question some of the decisions we made in our lives before, like thinking we need the best of the best, top of the line, name brand stuff. It can all just be a marketing strategy. You know, how do we know that they actually ran all these tests? How do we know it's the top performing thing, you know? So it really teaches you that you kind of have to form your own opinion on everything, because what you're hearing from others, it may be what they believe, but it may not always be true. So getting your own experience with different products and not trusting everything you see on television or just wherever you get information on anything you're buying.
Ernest Weber proposed the theory of change in difference threshold, which became known as Weber's law, which states that a just noticeable difference is a constant proportion of the intensity of an initial stimulus.
This experiment showed us that it is very easy to trick or persuade the public just by the words we tell them. This can help anybody with a job in the marketing industry, for example, because their job is to market their products in a way that get consumers' attention. So if they come up with an appealing enough marketing strategy, the product could sell itself, even if the product isn't all it's cracked up to be, like how it was when we were telling everybody that we had 3 different kinds of Sprite that we were giving them. Even though all of them tasted the exact same, we tricked them into thinking it wasn't.